Hey, it's Dr. Deer with 5 questions that you may find yourself asking right after the death of a loved one. And this is the way that we process, the way when we get notified that someone has passed away, we go into like autopilot and then we're trying to understand what happened because it just doesn't seem real. It's almost like a shock. You're in shock. And that leads me to number one: why my loved one? You're like, it seems like everybody else is living their lives and they're not experiencing death. And why did my loved one have to die? Especially if you've had multiple deaths back to back, you're just like, what is happening? And that leads me to number two: why did this happen to my family? Because the gravity of losing a family member impacts the whole family system, where it just doesn't feel the same. Things just aren't right after that. And it's hard. Excuse me. And that leads me to number three: is did I do something wrong for God to do this to me? And that's a big question. I think we all have grew up. If you grew up in church, you knew that's the thing you don't do is question God. But at this moment, I think most people have that question. And that leads me to number four: is how am I supposed to go on after this? Like, how can my life be happy after losing this important person out of my life? you know? And then number five: is this punishment for something? Did I do something wrong that I'm being punished for? And this is just the way people process grief. And, as the time rolls by, you understand those questions were out of grief. They were out of anger, out of sadness, depression, denial, all of those bargaining, all of those 5 stages of grief. So if this is you, praying for you, if you're struggling with your grief, please seek a therapist so they can help you maneuver through your grieving process.